you know why I'm smiling. So, if you remember in my first impressions video, I was talking about an anime about the high school runaway girl and the office worker guy. Um, so, now that we're actually into one of my, let's say, first impression videos on a specific anime, let's talk about it. So, this anime is called Hige Wo Soru. Basically, the English title is Higehiro. So after being rejected, um, he I shaved and took in a high school girl runaway. So just by that title alone, let me read it again just to make sure I'm not confusing you guys. So after being rejected, I shaved and I took in a high school runaway girl. Literally, episode one was about that and more. It was like that. The title literally will tell you what episode one is about. And something that I didn't even mention, which I kind of did that on purpose because I wanted to save it for this video. Um, so you got your characters, right? You got Yoshida, you got Airi, you got um, you got Sayu, you got Hashimoto, and you got a couple other characters that are not yet really been introduced into the anime yet. So this studio is made, or not studio, but this anime is made by Studio Project 9. I'm not too familiar with Project 9. They've done some other things that I've seen before in the past, but I'm not really too familiar with them. So I think from judging by the animation, which, by the way, this animation in the first episode, I thought it was pretty good. I didn't see any derps. For those of you who don't really know what that means, basically derps are when you see those anime characters, but they have like a blank face, and sometimes you'll see that in the background when some of these animators get lazy, and and I'm not gonna try to assault the animators because I know they work hard and I know that they do what they have to do to put it together, but for me, it's hard for me as a reviewer not to notice that, and so because the camera angles, the voice acting, the different scenes that were illustrated in the first episode, what did it mean? Those are all things that I'm trying to look at, and within Hige Wo Soru, basically the taking the high school runaway girl anime, Yoshida is like a very down to earth kind of guy. He got rejected by his boss that he works for in the office, and his boss name is Airi. Full name was well, that's not too important right now, but basically her name was Airi, and it literally started with them sitting at the table, and he went for it. He just asked her, he asked her out, he confessed, and he just flat out got rejected right there. And that's such a crude way to start an anime, but it's just that's the way that they had it set up. And her reasoning for why that she rejected him was kind of like a weird broad reasoning. Like it was kind of like I'm seeing someone, I already have someone, and it's like it's kind of vague. Like it's not really anything much. But then when you see the second episode, the second and third episode, you see a different side to her, and this is where you get into women and things that they, the things that they will do, right? So he had already confessed his feelings to her, right? Then Aidi's gonna come back in episode 2 and 3, and she gets a little jealous. Even invites him out to dinner, I believe, in episode 3, and just to ask a couple questions about, oh, is the rumors true that you took in Sayu, the high school runaway girl? and all this other stuff. And I'm like, well, why would you care? Because I'm watching that and I'm like, I mean, you rejected him, so what is this about? And the reason why I say women is because, from my perspective, they seem to want to gravitate towards you when you got something going on, or you're with a girlfriend or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But when you're alone and you're single, they seem not to even, mess with you like that. And then when you do try to ask them out and all that, they just reject you. It's like, yeah, no, I'm not interested. But then when I, got something else going on, all of a sudden you become interested and you get jealous. And she had the nerve to say in episode 3, Airi was like, oh, well, you confessed to me, so that means that you should only like me, or something that she said. I was just like, what? Like, man, some of these females are just tripping, dude. But yeah, let me get to Sayu, because Sayu, it's just like what Yoshida said. She's very spoiled. You can just tell from the first episode. She's so used to being given things, and so used to having sex with other strangers, and because she has the seduction game down, on PAG, actually, because she knows how to seduce older men because she's done it before. Who knows how many? And the dangers with that is, I mean, that's a lot of sex with strangers, unprotected, probably. So, I mean, she could literally have anything. She could have chlamydia, she could have AIDS, she could have anything. Or she could be pregnant. And so Yoshida, he's actually using his head. He's being smart. You know what I'm saying? Because there's, now there's also the other element of, oh wait, but you're harboring a minor. Yeah, what he's doing is kind of nice, but then again, he has to find the fine line, and he's even mentioned that himself. He's like, actually, Hashimoto, his friend, which, I mean, you have to have a Hashimoto in your life. You have to, because that's the kind of friend that you need in order to kind of talk with. And, like, because, he's going through the motions, and it looks like he's definitely falling for Sayu. And I don't blame him, because Sayu is so sweet, so nice, so kind, but also very spoiled, I'm just amazed at how, like, someone like this would be a runaway. Now, obviously, as the anime goes on, we'll learn more about her past and why she ran away, and what exactly happened there. Because it's like, wait a minute, why would someone like Sayu run away? Why couldn't she have a normal life? And we'll find that out sooner or later. And obviously, we got a hint that her parents are probably shitty. So, I mean, you have a hint of that. That probably is, because, I mean, how you let that even happen? Let someone like that, just run away and basically be on the road, like, literally by themselves, with nothing to eat, nothing to clothe themselves with. It's just literally in their school uniform. I'm like, I mean, the fact that this stuff even happens in real life is just kind of crazy, but it really does, and it just kind of, this is one of those animes that kind of addresses something that I haven't seen other animes do, which is the basically what happens when you get this older guy, Yoshida, who seems to have a level head. He seems to be a good guy, but where do you find the fine line between harboring, just the idea of harboring someone who's a runaway, and say if the cops were looking for her and they happen to find her in his house, he'd be done. I mean, he'd be in jail. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he has to definitely, like, cut the cord. You know what I'm saying? Because if he gets too attached and he falls in love with Sayu, because Sayu seems to be the type to just take whatever she could get, and if she continues to receive his charity, I mean, she ain't gonna want to go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? She not gonna want to. I mean, she's obviously gonna fall, if she hasn't already. Obviously gonna fall in love with Yoshida. Because he's very nice, but almost too nice, to the point where she's gonna get too comfortable. She's gonna want to stay, and then he's gonna get too attached to her, and then he ain't gonna want to. He ain't gonna want to even do anything. He's gonna want to let her go, so to speak, because you can already see the changes, and especially the second episode where she was getting done chores, and as far as the hobby, as far as the with the chores in the house, his shirt is always ironed, his face is always shaved. And even people at his work noticed that, Hashimoto, and of course that's where Airi came in. She's like, "Oh well, I noticed that. I heard rumors that basically you're dating someone." And I'm like, "Well, why do you care?" Like, I literally just like stopped the video right there, and I was like, "Why do you care? Like, you rejected him. You guys are like, friends, just friends. So why do you care about that? And then also, to add another element to it, this is a boss and employee type thing too. So it's kind of inappropriate for the boss to be asking certain questions to the employee. Like, you don't need to know his personal life. I know he confessed to you, but I mean, you don't need to ask that. That's kind of like none of your business. You know what I'm saying? And he even said, "Well, why do you care? Why did you bring me out here? Like, what's so special about that?" But yeah, I reacted to that scene like heavy, because I was like, dude, like, women do this shit all the time. Like, they really do. And it's like, when will when will they stop doing? And I've seen this in other animes too, where it's like all of a sudden, like, somebody, his ex or whoever, suddenly, they just kind of stop, they kind of just stop what they're doing, and then they start to like become more concerned with what their ex is doing. And I never could understand that, because I'm like, really? Like, why are you doing that? But anyway, that's my first impression on the first episode of Hige Wo Soru. And obviously I've already talked about the other episodes. I plan to actually try to review the anime on an episodic basis. Just give you my reaction / review on the series itself. This series is actually going to be 13 episodes. I believe already 3 or 4 episodes is out. The duration of the episodes aren't too long either. They're like 22, 23 minutes. So this anime is definitely, something that I kind of like, because I want to see where this goes exactly. Kind of like, my question is, how far will Yoshida go? Will he cross that line? You get what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. I'm definitely going to stay tuned to this anime, and I'm going to probably review it again in the future. Either episodically, or I'll just take like maybe a group of episodes and then just kind of review like those 4 or something like that. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.